Hello and greetings, LAI 414 and 514 students. I'm glad you're tuning in right now. And I'm doing this first video in order to kind of give some kind of help with how to create your own videos. Anywhere from 20 minutes to 25 minutes, please no longer than 25 minutes in length. Now, I've already given you some student examples. We had like a really superb, great example and some other good examples of what some students have done with their presentation videos in the past. Now, a lot of the questions that I get is, first of all, students ask, how do I get started? And I just tell them, just start. So kind of like this, you would say hello and introduce yourself, okay? Give a little bit of background about yourself and get into it. Talk about the readings and reflect on what the readings had in store for you. So for the week one readings, we had Applebee chapters 1 and 2, pages 1 through 27, and we also watched the Rita Pierson TED Talk video. And there were quite a few themes that the readings and the video had, and I want to address one that relates to a lot of the work I'm going to share with you in Dropbox. There's an article I'm going to put in there, and it happens to be my dissertation from a couple years ago. And Rita Pierson says something that I often say to my LAI students, and you're going to hear this from me over and over, and that is, first of all, you've got to teach something that you love, okay? So find something that you love in the subject that you're teaching and teach to that. Because when you teach to something that you're passionate about, your passion comes through to the students and it engages them. It really connects with them. And if they're connected and engaged in listening to everything that you're saying, because you're saying it with enthusiasm and passion, that's how they're going to learn. It's going to really stick with them, right? So Rita Pierson says something that along the lines where she was talking to another teacher who said something like, I don't get paid to like them, I just get paid to teach them, right? Pretty ignorant statement. And she said something that I always connected with, and that is, well, they're not going to learn from someone that they don't like. Okay, so in sharing some of the research that I did with you, and that is of a student who initially felt lost in the class. This class that I taught years ago was a writing class, an intro to writing at the freshman level, writing 101. And English was her second language. She felt lost. She didn't have a lot of friends in the class. And before we take a look at her story, just a little more background. The course was a writing course, but I often in my classroom incorporate a lot of physical movement in the class. So I do a lot of small groups, large groups, whole classroom discussion, and I get the students up and around, moving around the classroom. And in this situation, we had one exercise, a couple exercises actually throughout the course. One was called a tableau, which, if you don't know, is a physical still representation of some kind of concept. So in our classroom, we would have a tableau of one of the pieces or poems or short stories that we had read for the class, okay? Students were tasked with creating a still shot, or a kind of like a living photograph, as I like to call it, of a poem or a short story that was supposed to have been read for the class. We also do what is called an improv exercise or improvisation exercise, where students take forms of short stories, again, pieces that we have read for the class, and they create an improvisation piece, kind of like a performance piece in the classroom. So they can do whatever they want with it. It's open-ended. Has to be at least 60 seconds. And they really take a creative stance on producing these improvisations. What I like to do is kind of give them 5 to 10 minutes to plan their improvisation. I mean, it seems a little contradictory to say, you know, there's a planning period for improvisation. Improvisation is supposed to be impromptu, right? But what I found is in that planning period is where most of the creativity comes. They do research on characters. They create new characters in relation to tell the improvisation or tell the story, and it's a very interesting piece. So this student, Marianne, she's called for the research for this purpose, and she actually took pretty well to these situations, these in-class assignments. And without further ado, I'm going to let you watch the video and see how, so you can see how she handled it, okay? So today we have a little extra time to hand in our, it's okay. All right, I'll get back to you guys. Other questions? Huh? Yeah.
You let it slide.
Yeah, I know it.
Started with Alpha in 1996. She had over.
I was like so out of order because I
okay.
don't know what I want.
Okay.
It's in that picture, not from the yeah.
The tableau exercise. So we're going to take that a step further in the improvisation exercise that we're doing today.
Being a jerk.
Yeah.
And then like I'm not gonna get caught when she's like, this is your friend. I'm like, cops are pigs. What are you looking at?
Hey, what do you think you're doing? You're under arrest for graffiti, yeah.
See what happened? Yeah, that's so weird. She just ran away with it. Why don't they touch her? Why? I mean, she wrote cops are pigs.
Yeah.
Like,
Clearly they are. That's why they didn't see it.
I mean, why would they arrest her though? I don't understand why they arrest her.
Well, she's white.
She's white.
Or you choose not to. Sir.
Yeah, I just don't know when it closes.
I registered for a boot camp like that.
Boot camp?
They did that.
God bless you.
I think everyone should do the same thing at this moment, so it looks better.
Take a gander.
It's like
Okay.
imaginary.
I thought that was your favorite.
That's why he wanted to
What are you
save the country, right? Okay, good.
Then the love, Alicia.
Yep. Good. Okay. Any questions?
No.
So far? Okay, good.
Hi, my name is and I have been experienced researching through my boyfriend. My boyfriend, he's a black African American, and it's a so special combination between me and him because I'm a Chinese American, and I live in these 2-to-2 connected school apartment. So all my roommates, they are like Chinese American. So when their parents helping them move in, first time when they saw my boyfriend, he's black, then they speak to my roommate in Chinese, but they saying, "Are you sure you want to stay here with her? Like, why she's dating this guy? And please don't put anything expensive in the living room. Like,
Wow.
don't put your wallet, don't put your iPad, laptop in the living room. And if you don't feel safe, you should call me or anything." And it's just so stereotyped, you know? It's like because he's black, but people automatically assuming he will steal stuff.
Wow.
That means like, why would she date a black man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see there's anything wrong with it. I just hope my parents don't say whatever her parents told
Yeah.
He always tells me, like, if you ever bring home a black guy, I will shoot him and then I will shoot you.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Do your parents know? Have they met him?
Not yet, but I've been brainwashed them. Like my parents, it's okay with me if I marry American. So eventually, they will be accepting. Because but now I'm not allowed to date, so I can't tell them.
Papa's waltz
Okay.
right now. You are the worst father ever. You're working all the time. You're never home. Your son misses you.
Well, what do you want me to do? This is the Great Depression after all. I mean, come on.
Do something. Be a father. Don't go off.
Well, maybe you should be a mother and stop sleeping around.
Oh, no, you did not just accuse me of that. No, I cannot. No. Can't.
Sleeping with my best friend Willie, you know, that's cool, because he doesn't tell me everything, you know.
Oh, he is lying. No.
He's a liar? Well, why was your bra at his house?
It wasn't.
So whose wife?
They sell other things.
His wife's, and he doesn't even have one?
You never know.
Because I would have never came to the wedding.
You never know. He might have gone to Vegas. It happens.
You know, and how many hoes can he possibly afford with no job?
Might be on credit.
Credit, yes,
Oh,
because,
them.
you know, they take his house and all that, you know.
Might be like the IRS. You never know.
You know
Hoes
what?
these days.
You know, that is true, but that is not the point, okay? He was sleeping with you and you, I don't even know, you make me mad. I don't even know.
What can I get for you?
2 shots of Hennessy.
Something wrong?
My wife.
The usual?
Yes.
What happened this time?
She accused me of being a bad father. I mean, this is the Great Depression. How long do you need me to stay home? I'm trying to provide for my family. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I don't understand. If I don't do this, I get yelled at. If I don't do this, I get yelled at.
My wife's are.
They're hard to please.
Sir?
Hmm.
You alright?
Yeah.
Maybe you should head home.
Sorry. Hey. Hey. Gonna teach you how to dance. Like this.
Dad, come on, time to get up.
That's it.
Wow, good job. Give yourselves a hand. Good. How incredible was that, right? I mean, they took a poem that takes, 10 seconds to read, 20 seconds to read, and they did a whole 4-minute dialogue with multiple scenes and different things going on. I mean, how did they come up with that stuff? Now, that class right there was technically college freshmen, but it was a hybrid crossover course, a special course where high school students were involved in it as well. So half the class, well, half the group, 2 students in that group were high school students. They were both 15, I think, and the other 2 were 18, college freshmen. And I mean, they worked well together. But again, that's just testament to it being able to work at different levels. The actual exercise, being able to work at all different levels. I mean, if you modify it, the sky's the limit on that. So I really hope you liked that video. And what I want you to do is to go to the document I put in your Dropbox, and it's labeled, pulling it up right now here, in the DDJ1 folder. It's labeled 2016-5-27 dissertation Spitale. That's my dissertation, obviously. And I want you to go to page 80, where it starts to talk about the student's experience of improvising in the classroom, and read through that a little bit, and it gives some great dialogue on the next page, 81, and kind of breaks it down there for you, and includes some nice photos on 82, some more dialogue in 83 and 84, and look at the discussion afterwards. I'm now on page 86, and this is kind of like a follow-up after the improvisation. I asked them questions in a post-improvisation debriefing session for the exercise, and they explained what they were doing before, during, and after the improv, how they set it up and stuff like that. And they also say how it was an actual improv. They had planned some things, but it kind of escalated, as they said, and it's pretty cool. So watch this video on how they discussed setting that up.
So walk me through what just happened then. From beginning.
Yeah, they got into the argument, and then he got too mad, so he went to the bar, drank it off, came home, and
Tried teaching my son to dance.
yeah.
And then I passed out and got carried to bed.
Okay, all right. So, So we talked about the different interpretations of the poem. Why did you choose this one? Was the dad a bad dad in this? In this one?
I think as we took it as he wasn't that bad. He was just kind of an alcoholic. And he wasn't beating his son really with the scene that we did. So
He was just drunk.
he was just
dancing.
a caring drunk father.
Right.
So
And we didn't really see a lot of abuse, right, as it were. But
No.
it was maybe almost implied with the arguing, possibly,
Yeah.
and with the alcohol. We didn't see it in this scene, but it could have been implied or something. Do you think if this kept playing out, we saw a couple of days in the life of this family, we would see physical abuse, or would we see rehab, or what do you think? What do you think would go from
maybe
there?
therapy for the mom and dad. Solve out what's really going on. Who's cheating on who.
Yeah, that was really tough.
Was that something that was pre-planned, or?
It was
A little.
A little
I
bit.
didn't think it was going to that extent though.
So, the argument we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like gonna escalate like that.
That's good, yeah. Why do you think you guys took it, kept rolling with it like that?
It just felt right.
It's improv. I don't know.
Keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of escalated the situation. Instead of it staying like a flat note, like being
They just like kept
mono or boring.
on like upping each other, each one.
So incredible, right? It's just really interesting, to me at least, to see how they interpret it from their own point of view, right? And to actually have them reflect on how they came up with everything. It's just, it's fascinating to me. And you can see how engaged they are. I mean, think back to when you were a freshman into the courses that you had to take. Maybe you didn't have to take a writing course, but a lot of people are forced to get these writing credits, right? And they dread it. I mean, they walk into class and they think, great, here's another class. I'm gonna do poor at and I'm going to not enjoy. It's your responsibility as a teacher to have them enjoy it. Okay. Now you can't reach every student, and God, I've tried so hard, but sometimes there are students that you can't reach, and that's okay. Okay. Maybe there's students in this class that we're not going to be able to reach. That's okay. Okay. This is my teaching style, and this is how this class is going to go. So I really want you to enjoy the class. I want you to be engaged. Okay. Maybe you're going to take this and use it for your own class, and that's great. Hey, I guarantee though, with the readings and with the interactive conversation that we're going to be engaging in online, I guarantee you're going to at least take something from this to apply to your own classrooms. So having said that, I'm going to end it. We're at the 20-minute mark, and if you have questions about how to produce your own videos, we will we will meet a week before your videos are due. So we'll have that chance to discuss everything one-on-one or one-on-two, right, with your partner. So enjoy this class. I'm glad you're here, and stick with it. We're going to be doing great. All right. Bye-bye.